I'm Ernest Dickerson, and I'm going to read some reviews for Letterboxd for the film I directed called Bones. I'm Only Juan writes 5 stars. Probably the best shot movie in existence. We actually shot it in Vancouver. We photographed it in probably the worst neighborhood in Vancouver. There were crack vials all over the ground. The thing I was going for, we were kind of like working backwards. We wanted the final iteration of Jimmy Bones' house to be just the standalone structure standing in the middle of this vacant lot. And it was, kind of inspired by the house in Days of Heaven. I was working with Doug Higgins, who was the production designer, who I had worked with on another show previously. I found the house that I liked because I wanted the facade to be like a face. And so we started with that. And then, we shot all of the stuff with the house in the present day, which is the house by itself in the abandoned lot. And then eventually we built houses on either side just for the 1970s sequence. And when we were shooting all the present day stuff, we had typical Vancouver weather, which is rain, very dreary, cloudy, dull days. And I was praying that I could get a nice sunny day for the flashbacks to the 70s. And I didn't know if it was ever going to happen, but we got it. We had a beautiful sunny day. So it was kind of like working in reverse. Dash Coom writes 5 stars. I could have used a little more Pam Grier, but I guess that's a complaint against literally every movie. Ah, well, Ernest Dickerson rules. Thank you. Bones owns. I agree. Lee Does Not Exist gave it 4.5 stars. Jimmy Bones should be canonized as all the other slasher villains. We had to love Jimmy Bones. We had to portray him as a tragic, betrayed character who comes back for revenge. His revenge is just. He was of that, I guess the long gone tradition of gentleman gangsters. He protected the neighborhood. You see him walking through the neighborhood and how he's loved by everybody. But then after his death, after he's murdered, the neighborhood just went to pot. We wanted him to be this tragic figure. And I really wanted the audience to cheer when he finally comes back from the dead and gets his revenge. And also wanted it to be a love story. Pam Grier plays a character who I'm sure has been in situations that many of us have when you lose somebody you love and you wish they could come back. Well, her wish comes true. And I gotta tell you, it was amazing seeing Snoop blush after he kissed her. Ocean Harvey writes 4.5 stars. This movie utilizes the greatest special effect of all time, Pam Grier's beauty. I agree. An amazing lady to work with, so cool. Just really down to earth, and she just loved her work. It was an honor to work with her, and I have so much to be thankful to her for, because she introduced me to my wife. Jack writes 4.5 stars. The best part, though, when the 2 white frat bros pulled up at the very beginning playing Eminem. Okay, well, they were listening to the music they would be listening to. Tucker writes 4.5 stars. A lot of misunderstood genius in this one. But a small thing I can't stop thinking about is when the dog projectile vomited maggots twice, a lesser movie would have had the dog just do that just once. Well, it came from, I was trying to imagine the most disgusting thing I could think of, something that I really hated. Maggots is one of them. I remember growing up in Newark, New Jersey, and there was like a vacant field behind my apartment house, and there was like a dead cat that was there for months, and it was just full of maggots, and it was just like, ooh. So, maggots have always made my hackles rise. I think one of the creepiest scenes is in Suspiria, where the maggots are dropping from the ceiling. So I just decided to just take it and go crazy with it. July Underground writes 4.5 stars. I docked points for making me look at that many maggots, and then I had to put the points back because the maggots were absolutely on purpose an Argento moment. Yeah, they were. Max writes 4.5 stars. All my other boneheads needs to start picketing for a sequel. It would depend upon the script. If the script gets it right, yeah. Lynn writes 4.5 stars. The kind of movie that has you yelling, "Oh, cool!" alone in a dark room at least once every 10 minutes. Ooh, cool. I think the shot of Jimmy Bones walking up the steps as the flames are wrapping around him. And that was a very special moment that we set up for. We actually did that first thing in the morning because, Snoop being Snoop, he was blunted every day. he's a functional blunter. So I had to beg him, for insurance sake, please, not until after I get this shot off, because he was going to have flames on both sides of him, and I just didn't want to have anything happen. And he was cool. Honestly, I have to say, one of the best gentlemen I've ever worked with, Snoop.